morning, everyone. Good morning. How are you all today? How are you all today? Good. Oh, good, good. You're out of school today, and I think we have some pizza coming, so you should be really good, right? My name is Arlene Hunter. I am the city manager for the city of Bonita Springs. I will be with the city for about 19 years this September, and I've had different roles along the way in the city that gave me the opportunity to become the city manager here. We're going to have an exciting day planned for you. You guys are going to be able to be our mayor and council and make some important decisions for our community. You're going to get a tour of City Hall, and you're going to get an opportunity to hear from our staff and the different positions and the different educational opportunities they had to move into those positions. And you're going to get to hear from our mayor and a member of our city council as well, a member from the fire district, our fire chief, and a member from law enforcement to kind of tell you all about their backgrounds. So we hope that something excites you today and interests you today. It's important for you to know about your local government. We're here to serve our citizens and to understand how you participate in that and what your role is. So with that, that's my general welcome for the day, and we're happy you're here. And I'd like to introduce to you first our mayor, Rick Steinmeier, who's going to welcome you as well and give you a little bit of his background and his history with the city.
Thank you, Arlene. My name is Rick Steinmeier, and I graduated from the College of Human Development at Penn State University. I develop humans. This is a perfect job for me. It took me 25 years to get this job. Being involved in the city of Bonita Springs for 45 years, having an aunt and uncle and grandmother that purchased a restaurant on Old 41 in 1948, which is a long time before you guys were even born. But I've been coming down here since 52 and moved down permanently in 80, so that puts me at 44 years in Bonita Springs. I love this town. I love the people. It's charming. The people love each other. This is just beautiful. The mayor, I'm elected by the people. I work for the people like you. You're all responsible for your government. It's your job to tell the government what you need to be, what the government should do for you, because we work for you. I work for the people. The rest of the people work for the government, but I work for the people. That, I was elected by the people, not by the government. So I'm your liaison between the government and the people. So if you got a problem with the city, I gave you all cards. That give you that 6262 number will take you into the office, and they'll get a hold of me, and I'll get back to you. So I'm glad to see you're here. I'm going to be upstairs in my office, trying to keep an eye on things. And thanks again for being here. Here's Arlene again.
Thank you. And today you also have an opportunity to meet Councilman Nigel Fullick. And actually, your school is located within his district. So,
thank you, Arlene. Good morning. So, first thing I'm going to ask is, anybody here that was not born in the United States? Oh, good. So we got a few of us here. I'm the first elected council person in our city's history that was not born in the U.S. So I'm very proud of that. And what I would share with all of you, Arlene has known me, our city manager's known me for 21 years, God bless her, and she's put up with me for 21 years. But if you'd said 5 or 10 years ago that I would run for office, I would have told you, and it did, will never happen. But what you find out, and you all should be very aware of this, is that if you're not paying attention to what's going on, then possibly people who don't care and love the city, like the mayor said earlier, could be in charge. And you'd be amazed how quickly a government, even our local government, can fall apart if the wrong people are in charge. So if you care about your home and your city, there's two things that are going to be really, really important. You are not too young. You are not too young to know what's going on in your government. Our city website will tell you everything. You can go in there 24 hours a day and look and see what's happening in the city. But more importantly, if you're interested, you can actually watch our council meetings. Now, they're not always exciting. Sometimes they are, but they're not always exciting. But you can find out what's happening in your city by just looking on YouTube. And We have 2 meetings a month, and we sit up here and we try to do a good job. But here's what you will hear me say publicly over and over again. My biggest frustration about being an elected official is sometimes I don't know what the people want. All of us don't know what the people want, because if nobody's involved, nobody's here at the meetings, it doesn't really help if after we do something, people say, well, who's the idiot that made that decision? And it's always this idiot and the other 6 idiots that are up here, because we don't know what the people want. So it's really, really important. And don't ever think that one of you can't send us an email or call us, like the mayor said, and say, hey, I don't understand this. I don't know why the city is doing this. Our job, we work for you, not just your parents, not just your grandparents, but we work for you. You live in Bonita Springs, we work for you. So as the mayor said, it's really, really important that you understand that you are, each one of you is incredibly important. And if you, again, show of hands, who wasn't born in the U.S.? So, and my folks came here, we weren't wealthy. I was the first person in my family to go to college. So I will tell you right now, going to school is a very good thing, because in this country, paying your dues really just means being a good citizen. Get a job, get an education, get involved, and you too can sit up here one day, or maybe in Tallahassee, or maybe even in Washington, although I don't know why you would want to go to Washington, because that's a very crazy place. Anyway, that's enough. I'm really excited you're here. We have an incredible staff. You'll hear this over and over again. We are blessed in Bonita Springs, the people that work for you and us. And I always like to say that's my boss sitting over there. It's not really the mayor. My boss is the city manager, because she really knows what's going on. She coordinates with our fire chief and with the council. And I'm out of breath because I've been running around this morning, but I look forward to in the future or today meeting some of you or all of you. I'm accessible, and I wish you luck. Stay in school, do a great job, and have a great day today. Thank you.
Thank you. So this time I'd like our fire chief to come up. He is also an appointed position, very similar to city manager. He's going to give you a little bit of his background as well.
Yeah. Yes. Again, my name's Greg DeWitt. I'm the fire chief. I just want to echo what Councilman Nigel Fullick said. You guys do make a difference. I was on city council from 2016 to 2020 before I got appointed as a fire chief. So during that time, we had an issue with the skate park and the rec center. And so not only did the parents come in, but the kids came in to talk to the city council and tell us what they thought they wanted, what they needed out of the recreation center and out of that skate park. So it does make a difference, as Councilman Fullick said. It does make a. You're not too young to come up here and make a difference on a daily basis. So get involved with everything that's around your city, whether it's the park, the rec center, any of the parks, and what you want to see. You do have a voice. Just because you're in 7th grade doesn't mean you don't have a voice or an opinion. So enough about my short tenure at city council. I am the fire chief here in Bonita Springs. I've lived in Bonita Springs since 1988. Both my children went through Bonita Springs Middle School. My daughter had Mrs. Carius in science class. I actually was a chaperone, went down to Shark Valley with both my kids, went to all the things, very involved. So Bonita Springs Middle School is a great school. Actually, my sister-in-law teaches there. Don't hold it against me. It's Miss Bonnell with the reading coach. But so my heart is with Bonita Springs Middle School, Bonita Springs High School, Cerro High School. I've lived here, raised both my kids here. I've been the fire chief for 4 years now. Been a firefighter for 35 years. So as I say, once I grow up and figure out what I want to do, I'll figure that out. But no plans of retiring yet, because I still love the job. But it comes with some things. It's education. You know, I have a bachelor's degree in fire administration. I have an associate degree in emergency medicine. I've got all kinds of certificates, and I've taught. I've been a teacher, taught special ops throughout the United States. And, you know, it's one of the greatest jobs in the world. So, you know, it helps to have the education. You got to do it. So schooling and education is the key to everything. As the mayor said, as Nigel said, you know, it is the best. It's the best thing. It's going to open up doors that you would never knew would open up. And so just, we'll talk here in a little bit. You guys are going to ask some questions, but enough about me and about the fire department. It's the greatest job in the world, but I'll turn it back over to Arlene, and we'll talk to the sheriffs, because that's the second greatest job in the world.
So at this time, I'm going to have Lee County Sheriff's Office come up. I know many of you have seen our Lee County Sheriff's Office around, and have any of you noticed on their vehicles what might make them a little bit different than the other sheriff vehicles that you see all around the entire county? So the city of Bonita Springs does not have its own individual police department. What we do is we contract directly with the Lee County Sheriff's Office to provide community policing services within the city. So every city community policing unit has the city's logo on their vehicle, and that's how you'll know they're part of Bonita Springs Community Policing. So we have 2 sergeants and about 19 deputies on day shift and night shift that are solely dedicated to the citizens inside Bonita Springs that, in essence, act as our community policing unit as well. So I'll let them give you a little background.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Deputy Vincent Lopez. I want to start off by saying thank you guys for being here. It's nice to see you guys come out and embrace, the city side of stuff. Born and raised here in Lee County, Florida. I've been in the Sheriff's Department now for 3 years, going on Bonita CP for 2 of those years now. The unit's pretty cool because it gives us an opportunity to work with the city. So like Miss Arlene was saying, instead of them having their own police force like the city of Fort Myers or Cape Coral, we work directly with the city, solving as simple as traffic issues onto things that can get more major. It gives us the opportunity to work with the community, go out there, embrace the community. I don't know if any of you guys have seen us out there where we do events throughout the seasons, especially with the city when they're hosting events. We're out there side by side with our city, going out there, trying to serve the community to the best of our ability, do things a little bit differently. Community policing is great because it gives us an opportunity to not respond to calls of service. We're not focusing on always the calls coming in. Sometimes we're going out there and being proactive. And it's not always go out there, catch the bad guy, save the day. Sometimes it's as small as going and talking to someone who's having a bad day. Most of the time when you see one of us in uniform, it's not always the best of situations. And the community policing allows us to go out there and engage in a little bit deeper situation that allows us to police on a whole nother level. So. Yeah.
Amen.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to hand this back off to Miss Arlene.
All right, so at this time, I'm going to have each of our department directors and assistant city manager come up, and they're just going to kind of go in a row and pass the microphone. They're going to give you a little bit of background about their day-to-day operations, so you can kind of understand, as well as some of their educational background, so that you know the process of how you do to get into those roles, and a little bit of their history with the city. So with that, I'm going to have the assistant city manager come up, who is also the public works director, Matt Feeney.
Good morning. Thank you for coming. My name is Matt Feeney. I'm as Arlene said, the assistant city manager and the public works director. I'll give you a little bit of my background. I grew up in Fort Myers, went away to school at the University of Notre Dame and did ROTC, which gave me my first job. I was an officer in the United States Navy. I've lived in San Diego, lived for a couple years in Japan, and got out of the Navy and came back home. I worked for the town of Fort Myers Beach when the last hurricane hurt that community back in 2004. And then I went and worked in the private sector in construction. And that took me to different places as well. I worked here locally in construction, but later I worked in Kentucky for a couple of years and lived there. And then I worked in Austin, Texas for a couple of years. Ultimately, I came back to the city and became the public works director, and then later the assistant city manager. What we do in the public works department, probably the most prominent thing that you may have seen at your time at Bonita Springs Middle or right before you got there, is the large pathway that's now out in front of your school. We built that and did all the roadway improvements. We're getting ready to build another pathway that connects to the baseball fields down along Pine Avenue. So that'll be something that you'll probably see while you're at the school. We do drainage projects. There's a very large one going on right now up off of Paradise Road where there was an old golf course, and we're converting it into a stormwater treatment and then drainage facility. It's a $20 million project. We built the roundabouts that people either love or hate here in Bonita on Old 41. We also do storm response. So if you remember with the hurricane, there was a lot of, unfortunately, trash and garbage that's generated from people's homes being flooded and from trees being blown down. We make sure that that gets off the roads and gets handled and out of our community quickly so that people can get on to recovery. Anywhere that you see landscaping, even if it's on US 41, that's something that my folks maintain. We put it in, and we also make sure that it continues to grow. We work on some environmental projects. We work to get nutrients out of the water. We have some exciting ones that we're kind of testing right now to make sure that the Imperial River is cleaner and a better place than it was when we came here. And we build new roadways. So it's a varied many things that we work on, but all of them kind of help improve the community and set it up for the future. Next is Lisa. Lisa, our finance director.
Just Lisa, that's good enough. Hi, I am the Director of Finance and Administrative Services here, which means I am the city's accountant. So I am a certified public accountant with the state of Florida. However, what it means is in school, I was the girl who was good at math. So I was good at math, not English so much, but math, and then because if I was good at it and I could get decent grades, I kind of enjoyed it a little bit. So I took my first accounting class in high school, and I loved it and never looked back. So if there's anyone in the room who's good at math or at least, can tolerate math better than the other subjects, consider accounting. When you get in high school, take a class. Each one of your high schools have an accounting class and see if you like it. It's a really good way to use math. It's very fascinating. Everyone has to have an accountant. Every entity you think of. Professional football teams. I have a friend who I used to work with. He was an accountant for a professional football team, and when they went to the Super Bowl, he got a Super Bowl ring. So he has 2 Super Bowl rings, and he's an accountant. So everybody needs an accountant. Whatever, if you like charitable work, if you like whatever thing you would like, that entity has to have an accountant. Some accountants build spaceships. NASA has to have an accountant. Everyone does. So just consider, if you like math, consider taking an accounting class. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Hello, everyone. I am Nicole Perino. I'm the Parks and Recreation Director here with the city. So, as we like to say, I'm the fun department. So, I get to do the fun stuff. So, I actually grew up in Ohio and went to college in Ohio and for biological sciences and exercise physiology. So, a little bit about my background. Then I worked as a fitness director, actually, in Ohio for 7 years before I moved to Florida. Came to work with the city of Bonita, actually in charge of the recreation center. So community park and the recreation center, and then worked my way up through the ranks to parks and recreation director. So now I have all the parks. We actually have 26 of them. Not everyone always knows that, but we do have 26. You've seen some of our projects, most likely. The skate park is new. We just finished completing that last summer. We did the baseball fields are all new. All of those are right behind your school, right behind the middle school. And we are working on some projects, working on building additional soccer fields as well as expanding our pool. So a lot of fun and exciting things that we do in our park system. And we always love your feedback, especially from all of you, because you're the users of our facilities. So getting feedback from you, it would be fantastic. If you guys have ideas, I'd love to hear them. And so if you're with me later in our group, please let me know any ideas that you have. And watch out, I do know your principal, Miss Lehner. She is on our Art and Public Places Board. She's our chair. So I do work closely with her in all of the artwork that you have around the city. So I think that's about it for me.
Hello, my name is Laura Taylor. I'm the Director of Communications and Facilities. How many of you have been to 4th of July at Riverside Park? How about Holiday in the Park? So my department is also somewhat fun. We do the city events, and we also permit all of the events that happen in the city. I have a great team. Caressa Manoli actually is our new event manager, and she has planned this day for you. Logan and Antonio are here as well. You'll see Antonio running around filming for our Bonita television channel. And Logan also works with a lot of our events and our event permits. So if you have any questions, you can ask them as well. I've been with the city almost 18 years now. It started when I was in 7th grade, if you can believe it or not. How many of you know what you want to do right now for your career? Okay. What do you want to be? Doctor? Police officer? Go ahead. Software developer. Awesome. Anybody else? Psychologist. Very cool. So for me, in 7th grade, we had a teacher. His name was Mr. Dolan. I'll never forget him. He started telling us to do projects that were centered on film. So we were able to video, back then, believe it or not, we would have photographs and a cassette tape radio where we would play music and put photographs in front of it to build a project, a school project. And I loved it so much, and I thought, oh, I really love radio and TV. I love creating stories. I love writing, the scripts for that. He walked me down from middle school, because our high school was in the same building, or in the same campus, walked me down, introduced me to the radio and TV teacher in 9th grade, which I stayed in with that class, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, as elective. In 12th grade, they decided to open up a position where we could work for a couple hours and get paid. And we would go around the community and film. It was called Inside Out, and just talk about our local community, learn more about our local government, those type of things. So that's where I say it started for me. I went to FGCU, and then I started working for the city. And again, I've been here 18 years. So right now, it's very important. You can do things to open the door for you and whatever you want to do for your career. It's never too early to start. So for my department, we also do media relations. We work with our local media, our Bonita television, the events, communications, and most recently we took on facilities as well, and IT, information technology, because we do practice government light here. So I look forward to meeting all of you, giving you a tour, and answering any questions that you have.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Sheffield. I am the city clerk. I'm originally from way up in New York State, place that gets a lot of snow. And when I lived up there, I worked as a probation officer for a lot of years. And in that job, I helped a lot of people to obey the law and to live happy, healthier lives. My family and I got tired of the snow and being cold all the time, so we moved down to Southwest Florida. It was 20 years ago. And I worked for local government in Naples and Marco Island, and now Bonita Springs. I've been the city clerk in Bonita Springs for 1 year. And in that role, I have two very important jobs. If you were to attend a city council meeting, you would see me sitting up there writing. And I'm writing down everything that the city council votes for, the ordinance that they adopt. An ordinance is a city law. Resolutions, which are rules and directives, and I'm writing everything down, because a city clerk records every action that the city council takes. So the citizens are aware now and into the future. So it's very important. A city clerk has to have good listening skills, and a city clerk has to have good writing skills and write with accuracy. For example, if let's say the city council were to vote to have a parade in the city, and they wanted the parade, they voted to have the parade on Thursday, July 4th. But I wasn't paying attention, and I wrote down Wednesday, July 3rd. Think there's going to be some problems? Yeah, that's going to be trouble. So it's very important. City clerk is very precise. And my other big role is, you heard the mayor say, and Councilmember Fullick say, that they were elected. The city clerk serves as the city's elections qualifying officer for candidates. So we hold city elections every 2 years. And the citizens get a chance to decide who they would like to vote for to serve on city council as their council members and as their mayor. We have an election this year, 2024. So my job is to make sure that candidates are qualified to run. One of the most important qualifications is that a candidate must be a resident of the city, for example, to run for mayor. So could somebody from Orlando come down and say, I'd like to run for, and they live in Orlando, I would like to run for mayor of Bonita Springs? No, they wouldn't meet the qualifications. So I work hard to make sure they meet those qualifications. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jason Albert. I am a senior inspector with the Bonita Springs Neighborhood Services Department. I was born and raised in Naples, Florida. I went to school in Orlando to UCF, and I got my degree in criminal justice. And basically right after that, I applied to become a neighborhood services inspector with the city. What we do, as Mike Sheffield said, we enforce ordinances around the city. Every property in the city has to follow these ordinances, and they're basically laws. My favorite thing about it is every day is different. You really have to have a problem-solving attitude, which is nice. And like I said, every day coming in is different. You're dealing with a different problem in a different area with different people. So every day is interesting, and I love it.
Good morning. My name is Stuart Smith. I'm an engineer here with the city. Been here for about, 15, 16 years. My background is in school was I graduated from University of Maryland and went immediately into construction, much like the Director of Public Works here. I started in construction. I was a laborer and worked my way up to a superintendent. Then fortunately had parents that wanted me to finish my education, graduated, and got my Bachelor of Science degree and graduated and went right into construction and became a professional engineer. In 1980, I moved down here to Florida and continued to pursue my engineering degree and background, and was fortunate to get involved deeply into construction of large projects. Here in Bonita Springs as a community development engineer, I'm fortunate to be involved in some of the larger private developments. The developers that own land adjacent to the roadways that Matt Feeney's involved in, and the things that the city is doing with their budget. The developers come in and they want to get permits. The department I work in, Community Development Department, we have planning, zoning, and building responsibilities, and those developers have to come and get permits. Just like to build your school and improve your school, permits are necessary to make sure that the work is done in accordance with regulations and good management practice. Okay, I'm involved now in a project here, residential projects of several hundred homes, multifamily and single family, that are being built. I think you can hear it in my voice. As an engineer, I am so excited at this stage of my life, and I'm close to retirement, but I'm going to try to work as long as I can in something I love, being an engineer. Thank you all very much.
I think we got all the staff. I'll give you a little bit of my background. So I became interested in government by Model UN programs. I think you guys do that in middle school, high school. I do remember when I was in middle school, it was an assignment to go to our local council meeting, and this was before we broadcasted them on their website. So I had to go to the Sanibel council chamber meeting and watch that as well, and I ended up later on in life working for the first city manager of Bonita Springs, Gary Price, who was the manager out on Sanibel. So I grew up in Sanibel, and I went to high school in Fort Myers. I went to Florida State University, where I received my undergraduate and my master's degree in urban and regional planning. The master's degree was simple enough as I liked downtowns. I wanted to make them pretty, and I was mad at Walmart. So I decided I wanted to make downtowns prettier. I had a really great adjunct professor who was the state coordinator for the Florida Main Street program, and I said, I just want to go around the state and make pretty downtowns. Little did I know I'd be here at this, and we have a great, amazing downtown. So I'm excited that we've made all this progress, and I get to be a part of that. When I got out of school, I worked for the state of Florida. I worked for the Florida Department of Education. I had an opportunity to work on school resiliency. Little did I know that little bit of hurricane information would help down the road. And what we were happening is so many people were moving into Florida too quickly, and we didn't have schools for all the children. So we created all these portable buildings. Well, guess what? What happens to a portable building in a windy storm by the sea, by the river? Yeah, lots of problems. So we had to come up with master plans pretty quick on getting the fastest growing counties up to speed on their buildings as quick as we can, and fortify them and look at emergency procedures and evacuations and all that kind of fun stuff. That was my first job with the state of Florida, Florida Department of Education. I then worked for the city of Quincy, Florida, which is about 20 miles west of Tallahassee, and hired as a city planner. My boss was recruited by Florida State University to be the deputy building official, and I quickly got a chance to move up fast, learn code enforcement real fast, learn building permits real fast, and became the director of the planning and development department up there. My family was still down here, and I wanted to come back this way, so I took a position in Bonita Springs as the special events and park coordinator. So way back when, I used to do the fun 4th of July and celebrate Bonita, and so got a taste of that. And at one point, Nicole and I worked together and worked at what used to be, does anyone remember the community hall building that used to be by the big banyan tree? We had a building there. We used to plan events in there as well. From that, I got an opportunity because unfortunately the economy dipped a little bit and we needed economic development growth, and I became the director of development services. So I got to work with businesses and the Chamber of Commerce. We looked at trying to keep businesses open and retaining them and keeping them going, and keeping young folks here to keep working jobs. From there, I got tapped as the assistant city manager, retired to move up to assistant city manager, kept the role of development services, as we are government light. So one a little bit difference between, like we said, we do not have our own fire department. We've got a fire commissioner and a fire chief. That's a separate elected board. We don't have our own police department. We contract out for those services. We actually contract out for building permit services. And so a lot of us wear many hats. Like you see, Matt talked about being the assistant city manager and public works director. So we wear many different hats at the same time. And then when the city manager retired, I had a chance to become interim city manager and be tapped to be the city manager for Bonita Springs. In my daily role, I'd have no idea what exactly is going to happen when I come to work that day, and that's totally honest. I come in, I have a list, of course. I have a list of everything I want to accomplish, and I have to prioritize those pretty quickly because I don't know if the weather has changed, and I'm preparing for a storm in 3 days, and I'm talking to Chief DeWitt 4 or 5 times a day. I'm talking to Sergeant back there and his lieutenant all day long. What have we done? I'm talking to Nicole. Have we taken down all the flags? Have we any portable structures? Are they put away? I'm talking to Laura. Are the press releases out? Do we have a plan? When are we going to hear from the EOC? Is there evacuation plans? That could be day 14 of September, and I had 12 other things that was supposed to get done that day. So one thing you have to do is you can't be rigid. You have to take blows as they come, and you have to open a mind. But the most important thing is if you like people and you like your community and you care about things and you care about people, that's all we do every day is we put people first. That's our first priority. And then we go from there step by step. How do we get to help them, and how do we keep the city running smoothly as we can? So if you have any interest in having a different day every day when you wake up, then government is an answer for you. With that, I think, Laura, you wanted to do a photo first before, and then we're going to give you all a tour of City Hall. And if you guys have any questions, we're all here to pull aside, ask any questions you have. And then we're going to dive into doing some mock council meetings so you can see how we actually run a meeting.
Yeah, we have EMTs, paramedics. Every one of our firefighters is either one of the two. So about 60% of our firefighters are dual certified in firefighting and paramedics, and the rest of them are EMTs. So yeah, so we run with our partners at the sheriff's office for anything from a stub toe to, yes, I have ran the cat in a tree, to a cat on the top of a pool cage, to one of the reasons I was late, we had a bad accident today. So yeah, so we run all kinds of calls. You name it, we've either ran it or at least done it at Bonita Springs. So.
Anybody have questions? Anybody else? Who was the one that raised their hand that said they want to go into law enforcement? Sierra. I commend you. It's a very, very tough job. What him and I do on a daily takes a lot. Your lives start now. You guys are really developing as individuals. You'll see as you get a little older, you progress through school, a lot's going to get thrown at you. Decisions you make now will affect the rest of your guys' lives. You guys are here, you're focused, you're doing something that can make a difference in your guys' future. Keep this driven, stay focused, and if you guys have a passion to come into these fields, it takes a lot, and it's a lot of devotion, but it is the best jobs you can have in the world. I promise you that.
Yeah, you never know how rewarding it is, to help people to see that, because we're seeing them on their worst day, and if we can make a difference, it's all worth it. And it's the greatest job in the world. And we poke fun of each other. He wants to be a fireman, I want to be a cop. Yeah. It's still one of those things that we love every day, and I've been doing it for 35 years. So nothing. You guys are awful quiet.
Come on, somebody's got to have something. You're thinking about it. What you got back there in the back? Shoot your shot. Nothing? I'll start on my side. Most common call is probably the scariest call that we go to, and that's a 911 hang-up. It is something as simple as you guys pocket dial with the phone, or for those with iPhones, press the 2 buttons, and it just sends a distress call out, and we go out there, respond to it. It's scary to us because it's a lot of unknown, and we see it so many times a day that people get complacent, or they pretty much treat it as it's just another nothing call. They show up to the call, and sometimes it can be something so severe where the person didn't have a full chance to dial 911 or dial it and they hang up. So that's kind of the most common call we go to, is also one of the scariest ones we can arrive to.
And for us, it's, we run on every medical call. So for me personally, it's running calls on children. That's the scariest part, because that's something that we don't do a lot of. The elderly, we run a lot of calls on them, but it's the children and the those type of calls in the vehicle accidents is where it's the most common and scariest for us. Yes, sir. Qualifications for EMTs, you got to be at least 18, high school graduate, and take a 6-month course and a state test through the local college.
Anybody else? Anybody this side of the room? Ladies? Anything? All right. Well, once again, guys, thank you guys for your time. We really appreciate you guys being here and being part of this today. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you ever need anything, come see us.
Let us know, please.
Thank you.
I am Melissa Lehner. I am the proud principal of Bonita Springs Middle Center for the Arts. Being in Bonita is one of the greatest gifts that I've been given in life. It is a beautiful city with a real family feel to it. The students who attend our school take great pride in their families and in their community. And I can't imagine what our life would be like if we didn't have a city that really supported us in that mission. So I hope that if you have the opportunity to be in the Bonita Springs community or in the environment of Bonita Springs, you take it and really explore what makes our great city amazing.
On that thing loud. I call this meeting to order.
What?
I call this meeting to order.
I call this meeting to order.
Pledge.
I'll go first.
Please join me. Please stand.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
we'll all say the Pledge of Allegiance on 3.
We all say the Pledge of Allegiance on 3. 1, 2, 3. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
Please be seated.
Roll call. Just say roll call.
Roll call. Huh?
City Attorney, please do roll call.
City Attorney, please do roll call.
Who?
Council number District 1.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
Council number District 2.
Here.
Council number District 3.
Here.
Council number District 4.
Here.
Council number District 5.
Here.
Council member District 6.
Here. Public comment on agenda items.
My name is Sally Rogers. I live in Bonita Springs, and I think this is the most ridiculous idea that you've ever had, trying to spend almost $25,000 on some flowers. It's just a horrible idea, and I don't recommend you voting for this. It's just ridiculous. Would you be supportive?
Oh.
My name is Caleb Higgins. I live in Bonita. I think this is a really good idea because on West Terry Street, all the streets are always crowded.
My name is Eduardo. I live in Bonita, and I think it's a good idea because it can make our place a better place and look better.
Your name or a fake name?
My name's Melanie, and I think it would be a good idea to make it look pretty.
Okay, that's a nice job.
My name is Santa, and I think it's a good idea because we can make the place look better.
Is there any more public comment? None?
Let's move on to council discussion. City manager, would you read the agenda item?
City manager, would you read the agenda item? Yeah.
She's going to give you a briefing on that.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Today, we are asking for direction about landscaping on West Terry Street, leading to Bonita Springs Middle School. You received information regarding the construction cost and annual maintenance. We are here to seek your direction.
I'm open for discussion. Mayor, I have a question. Go ahead.
What type of landscape is being installed and is it big?
City manager?
We will have to work with landscape architect and bring back plants.
Mayor, can I speak?
Go ahead. I think we should have less landscaping. Anyone else share that opinion?
Mayor, I have a question.
Go ahead.
I think we should, lower the landscaping cost.
Ask the city manager if it can be done.
City manager, can it be done?
That would be possible.
That will be possible.
We'd have to go back to our consultant.
We'll have to be back to our consultant
And bring back
and bring back
a reduced cost.
But
The visual impact
the visual impact
will be much less.
will be much less.
Is there any other thoughts on this? None? Oh. Does anybody want to motion?
Mayor, may I speak?
Go ahead.
Would you like us to defer this
To the next meeting
to the next meeting?
and duly advertise it.
Hmm?
And duly advertise it
And do we advertise it
with reduced costs.
with reduced costs?
I would support that. Anyone else?
I would support that also.
I would support that.
Do you need any additional direction?
No, we have direction from council.
Oh.
No, we have direction from council.
Unless you like to confirm that in a vote.
Unless you like to confirm that in a vote.
I make a motion to that effect.
I second that.
Is there any other discussion? Attorney, roll call.
Councilmember District 1.
Yes.
Councilmember. Mayor.
No.
Councilmember District 2.
Yes.
Councilmember District 3.
Yes.
Councilmember District 4.
Aye.
Councilmember District 5.
Yes.
Councilmember District 6.
Yes.
Motion carries.